Okay, this is about uh, calibrating your KitchenAid KQ909 scale. So this is a cheap scientific scale. These are cheap standard. They're just weight to be of a known measurement. You're not supposed to touch them. I bought these on Amazon. They cost 20 bucks. They're not the greatest thing in the world, right? But so here's the 500 gram, which we're actually going to use to calibrate. I just calibrated this scale. That's a cheap scientific scale. Great for Pinewood Derbies. This one, see how it says like 400, 509 or whatever? Try to center that. And there's this one over here, right, where it says 500.4, okay? Now here's how you calibrate this one, okay? I can only calibrate the little one. I've only figured that one out. You hold on to this one, right? So you're going to need a 500 gram standard. You have to get that on Amazon. Okay, it's going to say calibrate, right? Now, and then you're going to do that again. You're going to push the numbers over here, right? And see how it says blinking 500? Okay, you're going to sit there. It's going to say pass, right? And then you put this on. Okay, so it's calibrated now. It turns itself off after it does it. Okay, we say 0. Say 500.2. Yeah, I mean, I guess, which is like about good. Look, a hundredth of a gram is fine. This is the kitchen scale. You only really need to go a tenth of a gram to go to espresso. 498 here. I find that annoying. This which would be 498.99. I don't know if this is like just not perfectly centered. See, that thing means centered over here, right? But you go here, right? Right, that's 500 accuracy. But the more important thing is, like, I'm usually getting 65 grams of, like, coffee, right, in the morning, right? So here's 100 grams, right? So here's, I'm missing one. Oh, I have 100 grams here, right? Okay. Right, so here's, that's 100 grams, right? Is that also 100 grams? Do I have 200 grams? You have 200 grams. Okay. So here's 50. And here's 60, right? And here's 6502, right? Now I'm mixing standards from two sets. Here, so obviously they're not calibrated equally. But I go here, right? I get 65, right? Which is what I need to make coffee, right? And in the low end, these things like seem much more accurate. Which is where I tend to like actually measure things on this spoon. So, but the problem is I can't calibrate the big scale here. Haven't figured that one out yet. Apologize, I'm holding the camera. I bought the thing. You want to center these as best you can, but 65, right? Because what we've done here, right? So I bought a smaller set of standards, and they were too small to calibrate my scale. You need this scale needs 500, 200 grams. This scale needs whatever, right? But I'm just sitting here, right? Okay, 9.99, right? 9.99, 9.8. That's a 10 gram, right? But let's do the 10 gram against what I actually calibrate against this set. So I don't know how accurate the other ones are. And that's the other thing about standards, like the standards you're going to buy, that you're going to use. Like this is a $20 set, right? That's a $20 set. And even then, at that point, I'm not supposed to touch it. But standards, so things get so accurate that you can only compare them by comparing those things. There's a great Adam Savage video, Savage video, where he actually goes to the Royal Institute in England to see the standard yard, which I think it's not platinum, it's bronze basically, and it's only accurate at a certain temperature in Celsius. Everything's relative. Like you can never get perfectly. You can get way more accurate than this stuff, right? You can probably buy like for measuring, you can get Starrett Mitsumo calipers and Starrett micrometers, and you can go way more accurate than this. And I can buy just more expensive standards, right? Out of better material, right? I mean the standards that like everything is measured against, that are like locked in rooms that no one gets to touch, that only like maybe like other countries get to touch, or big labs, like maybe like a Starrett, which makes like really accurate like rulers and stuff, get to touch. They're in like, those are locked under glass. They're made out of super non-corrosive material. This is like just, like some kind of stainless steel, right? But I'm not supposed to touch it, because if I touch it, I'm gonna, it's gonna lose some mass. It's gonna calibrate off, right? But anyway, that's all you can do. So anyway, if you have this scale, you can definitely at least, I'll try to figure out how to calibrate and post a new video of how to calibrate the big one. But just go to Amazon, get I'll post a link for these scales, but just get whatever standards you can. You need a 200, you need a 500 gram one. This one, scientific scale, calibrates to, with 500, 200 grams. But I would get this 500, 200 grams as your standards, and have some smaller ones just to check against like what more measurements you actually use. But you need 500 a 500 gram standard to calibrate the small thing. You'll probably need a 500 gram standard to calibrate the large scale. If I can ever figure out how, maybe you can't. But anyway, that's how you do it. Actually, let's just do this one more time, because I kind of ramble a little bit. We should repeat ourselves. So we hit we hold on to this button over here until it says calibrate. We push again until it blinks, and we say 500, right? And I keep pushing this, right? And like sometimes like I can push, right, and then it'll say pass, which is normal lexicon here, right? I'm going to keep this on a paper towel, right, to be finger. So if I want to do this one, scientific scale, this is just a cheap Amazon one. I mean, it's good enough for high school, right? I'm gonna push it down. So right, it says calibrate, right? And I could make that too. Pass. Okay, cool, right? So now that means calibrated, so it's calibrated to that level. I find it really interesting that I calibrate this one to 500 grams, by the way, but it seems most accurate with the smaller weights perfectly. So I don't know. I don't know much about how calibration actually works. I do know centering is an issue. Like that's when that's centered over here, then this comes up over here. I realized, which I never knew why that was the case on my cheap Amazon scale. But anyway, this is a good way to just like do some science with your kids. You can study standards and stuff, and you can calibrate your scale, which is good enough for cooking. But thanks for watching.